While President Biden's White House pushes new COVID mandates, liberals and Democrats get to play by a different set of rules. Former Virginia Democratic Governor Terry McAuliffe got caught flouting federal regulations by going maskless on an Amtrak train. And journalist Glenn Greenwald is tearing into AOC and maskless Met Gala celebs with a scathing article, quote, "It is now commonplace to see two distinct classes of people, those who remain maskless as they are served, and those who they employ as their servants who must have their faces covered at all times. The pandemic generated a new form of crude cultural segregation, a series of protocols which ensure that maskless elites need not ever cast eyes upon the faces of their servant class." Wow, that was a very eloquent put down, Greg.
Mm-hmm. Do you know that I own a pair of maskless chaps?
I never want to see that.
The good news is with servants wearing masks, you don't have to hear about their screenplay, right? But if you ever, and Greenwald is right, if you ever wanted to see kind of like a better image of have-nots serving the haves, just look at the Met Gala. It's the slaves, obeying their masters. They wear the masks, you don't, and the masks tell you the power structure, right? You go like, okay, if the people not wearing the mask, they're important, they're celebrities. People wearing the mask, they have to do it or they're gonna lose their job. So it's like even the AOC's dress, I don't even care about that dress. In fact, I might argue that was that was really cool of her going in there. But the problem is nobody there was made uncomfortable by it because they think, oh, wow, that's so beautiful. Yeah, we'll pay more taxes because we're like billionaires. So what would have been more interesting is dresses that say things that would have made them uncomfortable. Like, I'm against the death penalty unless it's an unborn child.
Ooh.
Something that would just be, something that would like make people go, oh my God, but they didn't. That's a safe message.
I think you should wear a dress to the Met Gala next year, Greg.
I wore that same dress to the Oscars last year. You just don't remember.
No one could see you. Dana, we saw this again. Remember there was that Nancy Pelosi fundraiser when everybody was drinking Chardonnay? Again, the servers masked and everybody else unmasked.
You see it if you walk up to your neighborhood, which is the fancy one in town.
Yeah.
You mean the Lower East Side?
Yeah, right.
Oh, yes.
You walk up there, and any restaurant that you go by, everybody is sitting there eating at these fancy restaurants, and all the staff is having to wear a mask. Now, restaurant workers were given the opportunity to have vaccines. They were amongst the first, and I'm assuming that many of them are vaccinated, and yet they still have to do this. Plus, I don't understand this whole thing. They want everyone to get vaccinated. I want people to get vaccinated. Got vaccinated. I was really glad when we could then go shopping without having to wear a mask. Yesterday, I go to a fancy department store in Jesse's neighborhood. And I'm walking in, and I immediately felt uncomfortable because, like, wait, why is everyone wearing a mask again? I don't understand. I think that the vaccination rate in New York is sky high, and there's this little sign that says, even if you're vaccinated, we just ask that you please wear a mask. Well, guess what? I'm not shopping there anymore.
Exactly.
Ooh,
I will shop online.
They just lost a lot of business, and I mean a lot of business.
Peter has never been so happy.
For that reason.
Restoration Hardware.
They have a bar on the roof, and they said said we needed our passports, and my wife isn't vaccinated. By the way, you made a great. I'm sorry, I'm hijacking. You made a great point as a pregnant woman. What's the percentage of women who want to get pregnant and are pregnant who don't have the vaccine?
75% have not had the vaccine.
So they can't go with their husband to a restaurant.
Some husbands might think that's a good thing.
With the amount that we eat, I can tell you it's cutting down on
That's right. It's economical. Inflation is a kicker. Your thoughts?
Couple of thoughts. There was a piece in The Atlantic very early on in the pandemic that was particularly meaningful, and it was written by a guy who checks out people at the grocery store. And he said, I don't want to be a hero. I have to have this job. When we were all standing out on our balconies, like you were saying yesterday, at 7 o'clock, and they became essential workers and the heroes of the pandemic. And they did do incredible things. They kept us fed, clothed, et cetera, doing all these deliveries. But it was the beginning of creating another level of an underclass. And they weren't the doctors who were saving us in the hospitals. They were the guy who was giving us our tofu. And
it's a power move.
It's a power move. It's also a safety concern. And I just want to say on top of it that it's become part of the uniform and that people who serve do wear uniforms, and that's something that just exists. But we have seen, and this was in the Monmouth poll from today, an amazing turn of events that we had 24% of people said that they wouldn't get vaccinated absolutely in January. That's down to only 15% today.
Yeah.
So the mandates and the enforcement of masking is helping getting people to the goal, which is herd immunity, and that we can all be safer if we're vaccinated.
Judge.
Okay. There is a place in Rye where I live in Westchester County.
What's the street?
What?
Fancy place.
Okay. Well, as the governor has lifted the mask mandate, some of our staff choose to wear masks, some of them don't. When you come in, you don't have to show proof of vaccination. You can wear a mask or you don't have to. So they're saying everybody's free to do whatever they want. We ask our guests to respect our employees' personal and private health choices. And any further discussion will not be allowed. No exceptions. Good for the Rye Bar and Grill. They're saying, you know what? Everybody's free to do what they want. It's right near the train station. People go in, they get hamburgers, salads, whatever they want. And they're saying, look, we don't even want to hear it if you want to complain about this one or that one.
And the judge will be appearing at the bar tonight, won't you, Judge?
Yes, I will. Yes, I will. No, I'm on the 7 o'clock show.
And I want everybody to know that a couch or a bed from Restoration Hardware, where Greg shops, is like $30,000.
I know. I was going to that bar.
We got to go. Up next, Facebook under fire over a new report that shows just how destructive the social media giant can be.
Do you get a discount there?
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.